Some moments in life are so perfectly timed that it's hard to believe they're not scripted, especially when they're caught on camera. But all of these clips are 100% real life. Let's start off with the most well-timed bit of profanity in internet history.
Don't like this. Don't like this at all.
Hello, mother.
No! No way!
So, what do you think?
So nice.
Are you... Ah! Baby, you weren't this close to being single!
If you ask a crocodile for a selfie, then they're usually happy to smile. Some hurricanes are very 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 usually happy to smile.
Her puppy loved ice and sliding it around, and 1 year later, he's still doing the same thing. As happy as ever, jumping up and down, watching it slide on the floor. Just a dog loving the simple things. Her puppy loved ice and sliding it around, and 1 year later, he's still doing the same thing. As happy as ever.
You ever had a class that was a little too easy? Cause one of mine was my 9th grade math class. And it wasn't the material that was easy. It was how the teacher structured the class. Let me explain. Every night we'd have homework. And when we would go to class the next day, the teacher would go over it first and then collect it. But the way she'd go over it, she would actually do the problems and show the work on her smartboard. So everybody would just copy her work on a paper and hand that in as their own work. It literally became a trend among all the students. But this one time, the teacher was going a little too fast. Hey, miss, can you slow down? Yeah, miss, we're still not done copying. Copying? I mean, reviewing the homework. Homie almost got all of us in trouble. You ever had a class that was a little too easy?
Whoa, hey, stay in the car there, homeboy. Deal with you later.
Yeah, fuck you too.
You know how fast you were going?
Gee, I don't know, officer. I try to keep it under the limit.
You and your boys look like you were drag racing from where we were sitting there, so why don't you get yourself out of the car? Come on.
Officer.
Officer.
Entirely
Yes,
necessary?
it is. Get on. Come on. Hands on the car. Let's go.
Get out of the fucking car! Hey!
All right, we gotta make sure.
Get out of the fucking car, you pint-sized prick!
You little shit. Get the fuck out of here. God! Whoa, hey, stay in the car there, homeboy. Deal with you later.
Yeah, fuck you too.
You know how fast you were going?
Gee, I don't know, officer. I try to keep it under the limit.
You and your boys look like you were drag.
You walk into McDonald's and hand in your job application. Here's why you get rejected. The manager grabs your application and rolls his eyes once he sees your resume. It's 2 pages long. He's tempted to throw out the second page, but he gives you a chance and keeps reading until he notices another mistake. You use entire paragraphs instead of bullets to describe your experiences. He sends you a strongly worded email with some resume tips and tells you to follow Go Hard. You walk into McDonald's and
Picture this, you get to the end of your life, you kick the bucket, and then it's all over. But then something happens. You wake up again. And you're not in heaven or hell or any other form of afterlife. You're actually in your bedroom in the year 2342. And you're not the age you were when you passed. You're actually 16, and you just finished an immersive game in a virtual world that simulates the primitive and exciting world of the 21st century. And before you scroll away thinking this is too far-fetched, what if I told you that it's not? And there are a number of scientists who have spoken openly about how this is a very real possibility, including Elon Musk, Yuval Harari, and Neil deGrasse Tyson. You see, you need to start thinking about the level of progress we've achieved over the past 100 years and what we could achieve in the next 100. The first video game in 1958 looked like this, and video games now look like this and can be played completely in VR. Everything you experience is a result of electrical activity in your brain, and theoretically, it would be completely possible to manipulate that activity to experience something else entirely, and you wouldn't be able to distinguish it from your true reality. And if that's possible in the future, then who is to say it hasn't happened already? Think of it this way, there is one real physical world, but there are infinite possible virtual worlds. Mathematically speaking, the odds you find yourself in the one true real world are almost. Picture this, you get to the end of your life, you kick the bucket.
This is a North Korean counterfeit bill, and they made them to inflate their country's economy. So it's the 1980s, and President Kim Il-sung has an idea. He trots over to Room 39, a secret office for the country's illegal funds, where they cook meth, run insurance scams, and counterfeit money.
Hey, look, make me $100 bills now.
But there's a problem. You can't just go to your computer, download a Benjamin, and print it on printer paper. Because bills use paper made of 75% cotton and 25% linen, and then woven throughout are red and blue security fibers. You do this with the intaglio printing press. Plus, bigger bills use a magnetic color-shifting ink that, when tilted, changes from copper to green. Kim Il-sung gathers all these materials like infinity stones.
I got intaglio printer from Japan, cloth paper, red-blue fiber from Hong Kong. I find color shifting ink from France. Print me some cash.
This fake money is called super dollars, and some still remain in circulation today. This is a North Korean counterfeit bill, and they made them to inflate their country's economy. So it's the 1980s.
What the shoes you wear in the first day of school says about you, part 2. Let me know in the comments below what type of shoe do you wear in the first day of school. If you wear SpongeBob Heelys, everyone needs to hide their girl, because you'll steal her and anybody around you. I give you respect.
Respect.
Because you don't care, especially when you're cruising through the halls. If you're wearing black Air Forces, nobody's gonna look in your direction. Bro, you are 1000% a threat. You would be so lucky if they don't send your ass out before you get in there. Like, it's the first day of school. You could at least wait until the end of the first week to look like a menace. Now we have the Vans. When you have Vans on the first day of school, that shows to me you are a chill person. But I'm 1000% sure that you are socially awkward. Straight up, y'all are so socially awkward that when you go to class, you do not talk to anybody and your head is down in the back of the class. With the shoes you wear in the first—
Here are some things that definitely exist, yet I refuse to believe that they exist. Electric eels? Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right, that's a real thing. A fish that can generate electric energy as a defense mechanism, that is a Pokemon. That is Pokemon stuff. And if you think about it from like a caveman perspective, they just wanted to eat a fish and they grabbed a fish and had a religious experience. They pooped themselves. And then they let go of the fish and it swam away and everyone said, hey, let's stay away from that kind of fish, holy hell. And then we didn't invent electricity for thousands of years after that, so it had no frame of reference. They don't exist. Number 2, the giant redwood sequoia trees in California, too big. Absolutely too big.
This $1 million hypercar was wrecked by the FBI. In 2003, a man posing as a wealthy businessman took a Ferrari F50 for a routine test drive. As they arrived back at the dealership and the salesman stepped out, he took off with the $1 million car. The car wasn't seen again for 5 years until the FBI found it while investigating an entirely different case. However, while under FBI possession, an agent decided to take it for a joyride and ended up crashing the car. Fortunately, the damaged vehicle was fixed and sold at auction, but that guy might have lost his job. For more car content...
Don't worry, honey, okay? Hold on.
I heard there was a problem.
Yes, it's my son. Oh, sorry, it's my daughter.
Excuse me?
Sorry, it's my offspring that I birthed without their consent.
Thank you.
She's possessed.
Ah, a demon.
No, something much worse. An ideology.
If you don't agree with what I find problematic, you're a fascist.
How could this happen?
Were there any problems growing up? Family, money, anything like that?
No, none of that.
A completely sheltered upbringing. It's worse than I thought.
Your mother was a colonizer.
Please, do something.
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to gritty back there.
Oh, no.
You are not getting your way.
I don't have time for your silly little organized religion.
You are not getting your way. You are not getting your way.
Oh, I'm late for my job at Amazon. I need to lay off 10,000 people.
There you go, he's back to normal.
Thank you.
Just doing my job, ma'am.
Don't worry, honey.
When I was young, I used to go to chess tournaments with my father. My father was one of the best chess players in the world, and a lot of the chess players were ex-KGB. I hung around.
The worst kinds of college essays. The aggrieved athlete. I twisted my pinky on the day of the big game. I struggled to let coach know. I have a boo-boo. He kicked me off the team. The pseudo-intellectual. Yes, I awoke from my slumber in the midst of dawn, for I could not bear the sun's ethereal glow upon my eyelids. The philosopher. We're all like a bag of chips. Half of our existence is filled with substance, and the other an insufferable swallowing void. The worst kinds of college essays.
Fun fact, Box Wars is an Australian event series where people build elaborate cardboard suits of armor, get together at a festival grounds, and then have an epic battle. The event was started by 3 friends in 2002 who felt they severely lacked creativity in their lives. Their solution was to get a bunch of friends together, build complex suits of armor out of cardboard, and get into epic medieval-style battles. The first battle was a huge hit, and the event series blew up. All the battles have a theme, and the Box Wars team builds massive elaborate pieces for each one, like building an aircraft carrier or a monster truck. Participants are encouraged to make the most complex suits of armor possible, but are only allowed to use recycled cardboard and materials that could be found in packaging, like tape or hot glue. There are 4 rules during a battle. There are no winners, only losers. Use common sense during a battle. Only recycled cardboard allowed, and after the battle, kids plunder the battlefield, and if a kid asks you for your armor after the battle, you must give it to them. The Box Wars team sets up kids' workshops at each event to teach kids about creating with cardboard and help them build their own pieces. Fun fact, Box Wars is an Australian event series where people build elaborate cardboard suits of armor, get together at a festival ground.
These cocaine hippos are invading Colombia. You can thank Pablo Escobar. So in 1970, the king of cocaine, Pablo Escobar, wants a private zoo. And he's like, I need elefantes, I need zebras and giraffes, and give me these hippos. So he goes around the world and smuggled them onto his truck.
There are some crazy cars abandoned in this town. and you can take them, but you won't want to. A YouTuber just recently explored Fukushima, Japan, and found thousands of cars just left there. Cars like Mitsubishi Evos, Subaru WRX STIs, and even Porsches. While it might be tempting to take them, it would be a horrible idea. In 2011, Fukushima experienced a tsunami and an earthquake, which triggered a reactor meltdown, meaning all of the cars are radioactive. For more car content, follow me. There are some crazy cars abandoned in this town, and you can take.
So unfortunately, NASA says we won't be a Type 1 civilization until the year 2371. We currently sit at a 0.73 on the Kardashev scale, which is a theoretical method for ranking civilizations based on their technological achievements and energy consumption. Being a Type 1 would mean that we are able to harness 100% of the Earth's renewable energy through wind, water, and solar. Even natural disasters like tsunamis and earthquakes would be generating energy for us. We would have complete control over the climate, could regulate global temperatures, terraform parts of our own planet and places like Mars and Venus. And the best part is that we would have so much energy that it would most likely be free. Now, the only catch is that we actually have to make it to the 24th century in the first place. So unfortunately, NASA says we won't be a Type 1 civilization until the year 2370.
The Waffle House has not only found its new host, but it's also found a way to tell you how bad a hurricane is. It's called the Waffle House Index. Yes, this is a very real thing used by the very real government. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, uses the Waffle House Index as a gauge for how severely a hurricane has damaged a given area. Because Waffle House is open 24/7, 365, anytime the restaurant closes, that's gonna be a big deal. In 2004, during Hurricane Charlie, former administrator Craig Fugit created the index after he noticed that Waffle House was one of the last places that remained open. The extent of Waffle House's operations actually shows the severity of the disaster, and it's broken down into 3 key levels. Green, everything is running as usual and they're serving a full menu. Damage is therefore low. Yellow, there's a limited menu due to low supplies and power is coming from a generator. Red, the restaurant is closed and there's likely a zombie apocalypse, or at least some unsafe condition in the area. So the next time a hurricane makes its way to your area and you're not exactly sure how severe it is, don't worry, because the Waffle House has not only found its new host, but it's also—
So there's not a third UFO over Montana. Or is there? NORAD is saying that it was just a radar glitch and fighter jets found nothing. However, Senator Tester, Governor Gianforte, and Representative Rosendale appear to have been briefed that there is an object in the airspace. And Rosendale and Gianforte are currently insisting that there's still an object hovering over the state despite NORAD's dismissal. So follow to stay in the loop on whatever this is. So there's not a third UFO over—
I became a fake FBI agent in GTA 5 so I could steal a $5 million secret police supercar. The first thing I did was go to the military base because the car was being dropped off in a cargo box. When I got inside, I had to make sure the disguise was working, and it was. Until I found the car, got inside, and started driving, because then I started getting shot at. And no, not just by guns. Tanks too. I went the wrong way and almost got blown up, but thankfully I made it out. Even with the cops chasing me, a couple of close calls, driving a little too fast, and even crashing, I still made it to the place I trust most to cover up this crime. After the car was customized, it looked like a whole new vehicle. Subscribe for more. I became a fake FBI agent in GTA 5 so I could steal a $5 million secret police supercar. The first thing I—
Well, I didn't see that coming. Part 1. Firstly, in 1915, a woman was late to her sister's funeral, so when she arrived, she demanded that her sister be let out of the coffin so she can see her one last time. But upon opening the coffin, the dead woman sat up, smiled, and lived for 47 more years. Next, in 2016, a swarm of bees chased a car for 2 straight days without stopping. When a beekeeper came to figure out the situation, it turns out that their queen was trapped inside. Now, NBA player Charles Barkley once had ice thrown at him in a club. He responded by throwing the guy out of a window, and the next day when a judge asked if he had any regrets, he said, "Yeah, I regret that we were on the first floor." Finally, the first public phone call on the iPhone was when Steve Jobs opened Google Maps, found the nearest Starbucks, and ordered 4,000 lattes. He then hung up and said he was kidding. What a legend. Well, I didn't see that coming. Part 1. Firstly, in 1915, a woman was late to her sister's funeral, so when she arrived, she demanded that her sister be let out of the coffin so she can see her one last time. But upon opening the coffin, the dead woman sat up, smiled, and lived for 47 more years. Next, in 2016, a swarm of bees chased a car for 2 straight days without stopping. When a beekeeper came to figure out the situation, it turns out that their queen was trapped inside. Now, NBA player Charles Barkley once had ice thrown at him in a club. He responded by throwing the guy out of a window. And the next day, when a judge asked if he had any regrets, he said, "Yeah, I regret that we were on the first floor." Finally, the first public phone call on the iPhone was when Steve Jobs opened Google Maps, found the nearest Starbucks, and ordered 4,000 lattes. He then hung up and said he was kidding. What a legend. Well, I didn't see that.
Will you scroll past Jesus? I know why you're still here, and it's because you love him. Listen to what he said about your angel. He said, "Be careful that you do not corrupt one of these little ones, for I can assure you that in heaven, each of their guardian angels always sees the face of my heavenly Father." I want to bring you some good news today. In this society and end times we live in, we must walk in the supernatural, but the good thing is that Jesus Christ has never left your side. There are a lot of crazy end times things going on, including sheep walking in circles over and over again. Jesus Christ actually talked about sheep and gave us a hint about what these things could be. Click the link in the pinned comment to watch the newest episode about.
Look, college is fun and all, but when you're a freshman, you're gonna make some pretty dumb mistakes, such as not using the meal swipes that you're paying for. And I'm not saying that you should only eat from your dining hall, because I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, but I'm saying that you should lay off the food delivery apps. Because I'm telling you, when it's 11 p.m. and you're chilling in your dorm lounge, you will have an irrational urge to order food even when you're not that hungry. Get a mini fridge, use your meal swipes, save your food for late nights. Look, college is fun and all, but when you're a freshman,
Costco is cheaper than Amazon. Here's why. So you're shopping on Amazon and you have the opportunity to buy their membership, Amazon Prime. That's nice, but you don't have to buy it to use Amazon. Now, Costco won't even let you in their store if you aren't a member. See, for Costco, membership is their business. It's mandatory. 75% of their revenue comes from it. And once you've bought your Costco membership, you fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy. Basically, because you've invested in the membership, you feel like you need to use it, even though it's a sunk cost. It's done. But this isn't all bad, because Costco's incentives are aligned with yours. They need to keep prices low and keep quality high, otherwise you wouldn't come back. So they get creative. Their stores are the opposite of an Apple store. They're in a warehouse where forklifts put pallets directly on shelves. There's no fancy declarations or offerings. They're not allowed to mark up prices greater than 15%. And if Costco isn't happy with the quality of a product, they roll out their own Kirkland signature brand. Costco turns every obstacle into your advantage. Costco is cheap.
Last week, I found these cinder blocks in the trash and made them into a coffee table. A lot of you wanted me to paint them black, so here goes nothing. And the plot twist at the end made this whole project worth it. I have to say, this project has been one of the most visually satisfying videos to date. You'll see what I mean. This car makes me feel like I'm in the sweet life of Zach and Cody. All right, here goes nothing. First, I need to make sure I don't destroy my courtyard, so I overlay this tarp over it. I bought this flat black paint at my local hardware store, and praying it looks good. This is the satisfying part. When I was a kid, I had to do community service for an entire week because I was caught doing graffiti. Oops. So far, these were looking great, but I felt like I needed to hit them with a second coat. Also, moving these blocks was an absolute workout. All right, here's the plot twist. I recently replaced my bar area with a bar cart, so I decided to use the glass top from that to add a little bit dimension to the whole piece. I don't know, do we like this black? Are the glass pieces too much? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Follow me for more finds and DIY.
Girls, I have a boyfriend. Oh my gosh, is he handsome? Boys, I have a girlfriend. I thought you were gay, lol. 5'10" guys versus 5'10" girls. How girls see Nerf wars versus how me and the boys see Nerf wars. I wore the same shirt twice in a month. Ew, WTF? I wore the same jeans for 10 days straight. Only 10, bro? Girls who are 50 kilograms versus boys who are 68 kilograms. Women after using $37,000 in hair care products. Men after washing their hair with a bar of soap. Girls at sleepovers. Let's summon a demon. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun. Boys at sleepovers. Who keeps summoning them? Wow, I'm running low on shoes. I love you. Please let me die. Girls, I have a boyfriend.
Yo, Elon Musk caught a spy leaking top secret Tesla data. But how he did it?
This 12-year-old baby, this 12-year-old baby by himself playing in a park at a playground with a toy gun by itself and gets killed by the police. His 15-year-old sister run outside after seeing her 12-year-old brother gunned down. The police grab her, slam her on the ground, according to the footage of the video, put her in handcuffs and put her in the car. Where was the outrage for that baby?
Yeah.
So here it is, we got George Floyd, who his last prison stint was for kicking in a woman's door. Yep. A black woman who was pregnant in the middle of the night, demanding where the money at, putting a gun to her belly, threatening to kill her and her baby. So here it is. We go burn down the country. We go tear up shit for this nigga instead of the baby. I was mad at the motherfucking black people. This 12-year-old baby.
I'm about to give you the best college app advice hands down. And if you see any of your friends making this mistake, call them out. So getting into college is a great feeling. You'll see that acceptance letter, you'll jump up and down, you'll scream, you'll cry. And what's the next thing you do? Call your grandmother? Of course not. You're gonna update your Instagram bio. Now, if you want to maintain your dignity, put the apostrophe before the number. I'm about to give you the best college app advice hands down.
China reportedly told the US that the spy balloon was supposed to spy on Hawaii and Guam, not the mainland, and that the wind just blew it there. Privately telling the US that the operators were trying to speed it out of US airspace as fast as possible. With China likely not believing the US would do anything about the balloon, which is why it didn't use its self-destruction feature. But the US had already made the decision to shoot it down once it was over water despite China's assurances, which would also explain why China is still so mad about the spy balloon. Follow to stay in the loop. China reportedly told the US that the spy balloon was supposed to spy on Hawaii and Guam, not the mainland, and that the wind just blew it there. Privately telling the US that the operators were trying to speed it out of US airspace as fast as possible. With China likely not believing.
There is a huge update coming.
People you never knew existed, part 5. Firstly, this is Vermin Supreme, and he has ran for several state and national elections since the 80s. He even ran for president in 2020. When becoming a leader, he wants to enforce zombie awareness, time travel research, and promises to give everyone a free pony. But sadly, he hasn't won anything yet. Next, a 19-year-old British teenager has officially changed his name to Captain Fantastic, faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, the Hulk, and the Flash combined. His grandmother will no longer talk to him. Now, in 2012, a woman in Ohio was arrested because she broke into many random people's houses, cleaned them, and left a bill for her services. How would you even think this is okay? Finally, ever since she was a little girl, Joel Shooping wanted to be blind, so in 2006, she poured drain cleaner into her eyes and blinded herself permanently, and now she claims she's the happiest she's ever been. People you never knew existed, part 5. Firstly, this is Vermin Supreme.
I solved Gorilla Tag's biggest mystery. My friends and I were playing with a random mod, and we discovered what was inside the secret tunnel. The mod we were using let us change our size at will, which was crazy. This is freaking crazy. Look how tiny these trees are. Yo, I can finally wall run the whole map. So after playing around for a bit, we realized something.
They're over by the secret tunnel. Wait, Jimin, we can go inside the secret tunnel. We can go through the secret tunnel.
The secret tunnel is like Gorilla Tag's biggest mystery, and pretty much every player has wondered what's inside. Until today.
K9's going. I'm coming! We made it in.
Yo, guys! Holy crap!
How deep can we go? Guys, wait for me!
No! There was nothing. Except the subscribe button.
Facts that will mess with your perception of time. The Lion King was released closer in time to the moon landing than today. Any American...
A couple days ago, a stray dog was found wandering the streets of Tennessee with a heartbreaking handwritten note attached to her collar. It read, "Please keep my name. My name is Lilo. Please love me. My mom can't keep me and is homeless with 2 kids. She tried her best but can't get help. I cost too much for her. She really loves me and I'm a great dog and love to be loved on. Please don't abuse me." When the scared, hungry pup was eventually brought into the local animal shelter, the entire staff team just couldn't stop crying. They could really tell that Lilo's mom genuinely loved her dog, but made the devastating decision to let her go for her own good.
And since Elon Musk claims vacations will kill you, and based on his experiences, you can't blame him.
If you want to continue being controlled by demons in your...
You're going 20 miles an hour. Can you go a bit faster?
Do you remember those dudes in math problems that would buy 20 watermelons and 80 pounds of sugar? Well, they exist. Walmart is the only place you could buy 90 bottles of Mountain Dew and nobody would question it. When I would see somebody with 2 or 3 carts full of stuff, I'd act like my register was closed. However, some customers would catch you off guard. Hey man, what brings you in today?
Just getting some candy.
Yeah, no problem, just ring out the candy. What are you gonna do with all this candy?
Making a giant ball.
Wait, what? This one time, it was 10 minutes before closing, and I was so ready to leave. Jorge, you can ring out one more customer, my manager told me. Awesome, one more customer, one more. Hey, you're open, right? Yep, and you're my last customer. Cool, because I got 5 carts full of stuff. Today was payday. Right this way. Yeah, it took 30 minutes to ring him out. But hey, at least I got paid overtime. Do you remember those dudes in math problems that would buy 20 watermelons and 80 pounds of sugar? Well, they exist. Walmart is the only place you could buy 90 bottles of Mountain Dew and nobody would question it. When I would see somebody with
If you look at a survey of Harvard students, you'll notice that most of them had 1 or 2 leadership roles in high school. And here's how you're gonna get some too. What you're not gonna do is run for an election out of the blue. I've been there before. Instead, when you're a freshman or sophomore, join a couple clubs, propose a small change in the ones you genuinely care about, then come election time, refer back to these positive changes in your speeches. If you look at a survey of Harvard students, you'll notice that most of them had 1 or 2 leadership roles in high school. And here's how
Top 10 threats the world ignored. Spanish or vanish. Friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, Duolingo. Only Duolingo has no end. 11-day streak lost. I guess you will do just fine with having 11 hours of oxygen today. Where is my family? Duolingo. Good question. Your ass is grass and I'm the lawnmower. Mom, we need to talk. Emergency alert. Looks like you forgot your Spanish lessons again. You know what happens now. Join the Discord in the pinned comments.
How did you two become friends? I feel like no one knows that. So
While at a vehicle auction, I came across this JDM Honda Civic Del Sol.
The dumbest reasons people got in trouble at school. At this kid's middle school, there was a rule that nobody was allowed to chew gum ever. Well, one day, this kid was chewing gum. His teacher saw this and said, "Kyle, spit it out. You know the rule. Thank you. See me after class." After class, you wanted to see me? You need to write me a 2,000-word paper on the history of pizza. That's your punishment. Give it to me on Monday. He spent the entire weekend writing this paper. When I got back to school on Monday, that teacher was out sick, so there was a substitute. Tuesday, the same thing. On Wednesday, when that teacher finally returned, here's the paper you wanted me to write. Kyle, what paper? The paper. What paper, Kyle? The pizza paper. The pizza paper? The pizza paper! Oh, throw that in the garbage. I don't really want to read it. The dumbest reasons people got
My own private domicile and I will not be harassed. Somewhere beyond the sea. Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Lover stands on the golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come. If I
This company claims that they have made an unbreakable piggy bank. Let's go see if it's true.
Alright, here we go. I would be very surprised if it survived. Here we go. 10,000 likes if it doesn't break. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
This company.
The most unexpected facts.
Your teacher's impressed with your latest test score. Here's what you did. So before this test, you never finished any of his exams on time. He'd tell you to stop working and you'd be rushing to bubble in a few more answers. That's why for his most recent exam, you decided to create checkpoints. You took the number of questions on the exam and the amount of time you'd have and divided both by 4. And the night before the exam, you took a mental note of how many questions you should be done with by different points of the exam and followed me for 2 more test tips.
Ever wondered how 7'1" Shaq O'Neal fits in his cars? Well, it's a bit of an issue since not many people are that big, however, let me explain. So Shaq never let that actually stop him from customizing his cars, but how, you may wonder? Well, for his Mercedes S55 and his Dodge Challenger Hellcat, he decided to cut the roof off, making them convertible so his head doesn't smash into the roof. He also has a 3-wheel Polaris slingshot, and if you're wondering how he could fit into it, kindly subscribe and let me explain. He sent the car to be modified to extend its wheelbase so that the Giant can fit in, and it doesn't have a roof, so that's not an issue at least. Not only that, but he also has a stretched Lamborghini Gallardo that's more than 10 inches longer than usual so that he can fit inside. However, you can't notice that it's longer with the naked eye because it's so well built. But when Shaq is really bored of being cramped in his supercars, he hops in his gigantic Ford F650 because it doesn't discriminate him. Ever wondered how
The UFO the US shot down off the coast of Alaska has been described as cylindrical and silverish gray and seemed to be floating. When asked if it was balloon-like, the Pentagon said it didn't have any propulsion and that they didn't know enough yet to answer. Follow to stay posted. The UFO the US shot down.
T-Series got a 200 million subscriber play button. This award was never officially announced anywhere, but YouTuber Timeworks found it on the official Society Awards website. It's kind of weird looking as it doesn't really match the previous milestone awards, but it does feature the same fancy baccarat crystal used in the 100 million award. We also have no sense.
A really sad scene happened when this delivery man had to deliver a package. In fact, the person who was supposed to receive it was not present, and the person left signs in front of the door for the delivery man. The astonished delivery man is going to put down the package and remove them one by one to understand what is asked of him. In concrete terms, the person who ordered the package explains that they are busy and cannot be there. They also said that they left the key under the doormat and that the package contains a Santa Claus suit, so they offer for the delivery man to put on the suit and surprise her dog. And at that moment, the delivery guy takes the key and does it. He enters the house, except that the problem is that once he gets in, the only thing that this fucker will do is put all the valuables in his bag. I think we can agree, he is really the worst delivery man in history. A really sad scene happened when this delivery man had to deliver a package. In fact, the person who was supposed to receive it was not present, and the person left signs in front of the door for the...
Today I'm going to show you the different types of school bus doors and how they work. So this door right here is...
Your friends might call you a nerd if you do this, but who cares? So you have a science exam coming up tomorrow. You've spent all night rereading your notes.
So how long would your parents stay at family parties? Cause the minute my family would get an invitation, I'd be like, well, there goes my Saturday. Once I was with my friend Josue at this party, and we were chilling next to the speakers. Okay, here's a more realistic depiction. But we were bored out of our minds because there was nobody else our age there. Dude, ask if we can go inside. Maybe they have an Xbox. Bro, I don't know whose house this is. I don't even know this family. I was shy and I did not know who to ask to go inside. But the back door to the house was open. So Josue walked in acting like he had to use the bathroom. But in reality, he just wanted to snoop around like an idiot looking for an Xbox. And I was waiting outside. But 15 minutes in, he still hasn't come out of the house and I got worried. Wait, what happened to this kid? So I go in trying to make sure he's okay, like a good friend. And to my surprise, 6 kids our age were inside playing Halo, including Josue. Jeez, so this is where everybody was. So how long would your parents stay at family parties?
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
So unfortunately, NASA doesn't think we'll be a Type 2 civilization until the year 3200. But what would that look like? Well, Type 2s can be broken down into 4 categories: energy, transportation, communication, and society. Type 2s have access to 100% of the energy of their home planet and star, giving them access to 100% unlimited energy. This would enable us to have control over the weather, eliminate famine and drought, and have complete mastery over our natural resources. We would have moved beyond traditional methods of transportation and developed technologies like faster than light travel or teleportation teleportation, allowing us to easily travel between different planets and galaxies. We would have also mastered advanced forms of communication like telepathy, and we would be able to communicate instantaneously across vast distances. And finally, within society, we would have achieved a state of global unity and cooperation.
Weird things teachers did. Some teachers like to play calming music during tests to keep the students calm and focused. Well, this one teacher at this one high school played something a little different. Whenever students were taking a test, he would just play dolphin noises on a loop. I can't focus with this crap playing. Oh my god, same, it's hurting my ears. Quiet, listen to the music and do your test, please. I love this song. That's wild. Weird things teachers did. Some teachers like to play.
This man exposed his wife at Disney World. And this is probably the funniest Disney World story I have ever made a video of. A family of 4 came into the Cinderella's Castle restaurant, which is notoriously the fanciest and most coveted restaurant to eat at in Disney World. And the first half of the dinner seemed to go completely normal. However, about halfway through the dinner, the husband politely stood up, tapping his glass, and asked everyone for their attention. He then very calmly announced that his wife of 15 years had been cheating on him for over a year and that he was leaving her. He then very calmly motioned for his kids, paid the waitress, and left the wife crying at the table. The entire restaurant was silent in shock, but I think the craziest part is that this man exposed his wife at Disney World. And this is probably the funniest Disney World story I have ever made a video of. A family of 4 came into the Cinderella's
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my day.
How much money do you need to make in order to be considered middle class? Well, in 1971, about 61% of Americans were considered middle class. But as of 2021, only about 50% of Americans are considered middle class. Now, you can blame stagnant wages, inflation, or poor political policies. But as the middle class shrinks, the lower and upper classes are expanding. And according to US News and Pew Trust Org, for a family of 3, you'd be considered middle class if you make between $53,000 and $107,000 per year. How much money do you need to make in order to be considered middle class? Well, in 1971, about 61% of Americans were considered middle class. But as of 2021, only about 50% of Americans are considered middle class. Now, you can blame
Sir, your company just made $1 billion this year. How much do you want to get paid? Just $1, please. What? How are you supposed to solve world hunger with only $1? Well, if I took a salary, I'd have to pay out a bunch in taxes. I don't want any income from my paycheck. Well, then how will you get the money to fix homelessness? I think I'll get paid out in stocks. The long-term capital gains rate are super low, and I'll probably end up paying less than the average American. Ah, yes. Very smart, sir. Thanks, but as my accountant, you probably should have already known this. You're fired. Sir, your company just made $1 billion this year. How much do you want to get paid? Just $1, please. What? How are you supposed to solve world hunger?
Man, you won't believe what happened today. What's up, guys? There he is. Nice. Justin's hopping on too. Bet, you guys down to play something new today? Yeah, I'm down. Same here. I can't keep playing the same game. Guess who's here? Hello, sir. Daddy. Did he just call him Daddy? So what game we playing? Oh, we were just talking about how we all wanted to try something new. Yeah, we're kind of bored of the old games. Well, I'm not. So we're playing Fortnite. We're not just gonna play Fortnite because you want. Loading the game up right now, sir. Could you please invite me? You were saying? Yo, are you guys just gonna let Justin treat you like a bitch? How dare you speak to the leader of the friend group like that? The leader of the friend group? I forbid you guys from ever speaking to Jimmy again. Anyone who doesn't follow is banished from the friend group. Yeah, right. We've been friends since way before we met. Sir, yes, sir. What? Now kick him. What the fuck? Man, you won't believe what happened.
Kabuso, the meme dog, which inspired the viral Doge meme, and the cryptocurrency Dogecoin, is seriously ill. According to its owner, Atsuko Sato, the 17-year-old dog stopped eating and drinking voluntarily on Christmas and has been diagnosed with cancer and liver disease. The owner said that Kabuso had blood tests.
British people, when they come home and don't have to do the accent anymore. The average British person. Can you guys stop? Just another day in London. Don't think you can park there, mate. British people could watch their family be ended and be like, I don't quite fancy that. Are you British? How'd you know? Also him. What Americans think British guys look like. What they're actually like. Stop normalizing the British. I'm offended. You have gained 40 pounds. British Americans. British people will be like, alright, time to go to the shop. The British websites use biscuits. British people could see see Bigfoot and be like, odd bloke. British parrot missing for 4 years, returns home speaking fluent Spanish. What's something that feels British but isn't? The contents of a British museum. That's it. It's time to destroy the British people. I'm fed up of this slander. British people, when they come home, and don't have to do the accent anymore. The average British person. Can you guys stop? Just another day in London. Don't think you can park there, mate. British people could watch their family be ended and be like, I don't quite fancy that. Are you British? How'd you know? Also him. What Americans think British guys look.
I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you. I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you. I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you. I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Students get payback on the mean secretary. At one high school, there was a secretary that was super mean all the time.
Pull your pants up, Steven. Johnny, keep on moving. Stacy, what's with all the makeup? You look like a hussy.
I hate these kids. Well, one kid wanted to get back at her for all the times she was super mean to the students. This is what he did. One night, he made a Craigslist ad saying, "Sugar baby, looking for sugar daddy." It said, "I am very pretty. If you're interested, please call this number." But the number that he used was the school's front office.
Dairy Brothers High School, how may I help you?
Still looking for a sugar daddy?
What? Oh my god. Ugh. Dairy Brothers School, how may I help you?
You say me, you, strawberry.
I could technically sue the out of you.
Logan Paul is going after Patty Pimblett. Patty the Baddie recently made a video talking crap about Prime Hydration, in which he proceeded to promote his new drink, but Logan was quick to respond.
It looks almost identical to Prime.
That was crazy.
And he lied in the video. He poured out sugar at one part to show Prime's 2 grams of sugar, and he poured a load of it. I could technically sue the out of you.
Logan Paul is going after Patty.
Do you want to win 20 bucks?
Oh, God. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll take 20 bucks.
Here's the challenge.
What is the challenge? Is it a suicide bomb?
No.
Oh.
One of these is live. One of these isn't live.
Okay.
You have to pull the pen. I step back and I toss it at your feet and you cannot flinch. If it blows up, you don't get the money. If it doesn't blow up and you don't flinch, you get 20 bucks.
I hope they're both live. I hate you. Okay, sure. Can I feel them at all?
Nope. You got to pull the pen. Here's the pen.
Left?
Got to face me and you can't flinch.
No problem.
You ready?
I'm ready.
No flinching.
No flinching. What's that?
That was a dud. Congratulations.
Yes! $20!
By the end of this decade, the world is going to have 6 trillionaires. For a long time, people thought Elon Musk would be the first, and just a few months ago, they were projecting he'd achieve trillionaire status by 2024 due to the rise in SpaceX's valuation. But now that 2024 is less than a year away, this seems pretty unlikely, but no matter how long it's delayed, the rise of the trillionaire class seems inevitable. But human brains have a hard time grasping the idea of 1 billion, let alone a trillion, but let's try. If someone were to have a net worth of $1 trillion, they would be roughly worth as much as the GDP of Indonesia. If you were to time travel back in time 1 million seconds, it would be 12 days ago. If you went back 1 billion seconds, you would be in 1991. And if you were to time travel back 1 trillion seconds, you would be in the year 30,000 BC. Which begs the question, should trillionaires even exist? And if your answer to that question is no, is there anything we could really do about it? By the end of this decade, the world is going to have 6
This is the face your admissions officer is gonna make.
So the Subway King Malad came over, which was the perfect opportunity to give him his first horchata.
Alright guys, first time Malad, Subway.
You have an exam next period. Did you study? No. Do you want a good grade? Yeah. Well, you're in luck. You have lunch before the exam. Here's what you do. First, you get to the cafeteria and get some food because you don't want to starve. But as soon as you sit down, you pull out your textbook and flip to the chapter the test is on. If the chapter is less than 10 pages, skim it. Otherwise, read the chapter summary. For the final 10 minutes of lunch, you're gonna have your friend quiz you on the chapter summary and make you follow Gohar for 3 more tips. You have an exam next.
Fun riddle.
The missile that landed in Poland yesterday was actually fired by Ukraine at an incoming Russian missile barrage. So Poland will obviously no longer activate Article 4 today. The UK, Germany, and the Netherlands saying that Russia is still to blame. Italy saying it makes a little different if the blast was by Russia or because Russia. Saying Ukraine is being forced to defend itself from a relentless Russian barrage. And saying when they're forced to defend themselves, accidents are going to happen. NATO says Russia holds sole responsibility. The Czech parliament has declared Russia a terrorist state. And NATO is now providing Ukraine with more sophisticated air defense systems to try to prevent similar acts.
Where are they now? The biggest Shark Tank company that went bust. In 2013, Charles Michael Yim walked into the Shark Tank with Breathometer, a device that measured someone's blood alcohol content with a cell phone app. And Breathometer ended up getting all 5 sharks on board. $500K from Mark Cuban for 15%, and another 15% for $500,000 split among the other 4 sharks, totaling $1 million for a 30% stake. After notoriously airing on Shark Tank, Yim took his $1 million investments and went on business trips for networking purposes. But in reality, he was partying in Bora Bora, Las Vegas, and pretty much anywhere he wanted to go. And in 2017, the FTC came knocking, claiming Breathometer lacked scientific evidence. So Breathometer ended up refunding all of its customers, making Breathometer the biggest scam and the worst deal in Shark Tank history. Where are they now? The biggest Shark Tank company.
Hey little buddy, you can't smoke here. It's just pollution, relax. Yeah, but it's going everywhere. You're gonna get moon over here, secondhand global warming. Oh, it's okay, I have a strong immune system. See, he's fine. Now go mind your own business somewhere else. No sun intended. Fine, then I'll go rise for your mom instead. What? Oh, sunburn. Are you winning, son? Get a life. All of you get a life. Wow, that's so Elon Musk came on me. Okay, but don't you want to live a long, healthy life and see more things? Meh. What about meeting your twin? I have a twin? He's a planet exactly like you that orbits me on the opposite side, which is why you never see each other. Illuminati. Yes, and what about learning the truth behind the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs? Wait, what do you mean? I saw it happen. It wasn't an asteroid. It was an alien spaceship. And the aliens that came out were the humans. Holy crap. You see, life is full of surprises, so cherish it. Yeah, maybe you're right. I should quit pollution. Yeah, Earth! 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 Wait, who are you? Oh! So now that he's gone, can I come back on the roster?
So apparently if you destroy your own art on here, you get a bunch of likes and views, so, you know what to do. So apparently if you destroy your own art on here...
Having bones on your floor is only...
This boy kicked the ball into the car where the test was taking place. The girl is scared and makes a sharp turn, and they want to see a good show. But the girl makes a perfect drift and stops the car. The girl passed her driving test with a perfect score. The boy who kicked the ball came running in anger. The girl is asked to pay for the football. Susan just smiles indifferently in return, and then she crashes into the boy's luxury car. The boy doesn't even realize Susan is a talented driver. Susan's mother didn't believe it either. The first day she gets her license and she's in trouble. She decided to let Susan work for the summer to pay for the repairs. That night, she sneaks into the driving school's warehouse. She found the old junk car used for driving lessons. After checking the oil and taping up the mirrors, leaving a message for her mother to leave the area, Susan drove to a friend's house 300 kilometers away, but just outside the city. The car stopped on the side of the road with black smoke. Just then a police car passed by. The officer checked Susan's license. He immediately ran back to his car and called. Looking at the tow truck coming, Susan was desperate. When she was taken to the garage, she was surprised to find the police and her uncle were good friends. This is Susan's first visit to her uncle's garage. She overheard that her parents and her uncle had... This boy kicked the ball into the car where the test was taking place. The girl is scared and makes a sharp turn, and they want to see a good show. But the girl makes a perfect...
The infinite money glitch is real, and this guy made $300,000 and it was completely legal. He got an MX card with 5% cash back and went to the grocery store, but instead of buying eggs and milk, he bought a $100 prepaid money card and then used it to buy a money order, but here's where things get crazy. He used this money in order to pay off his credit card, creating an infinite loop. And since he earned $5 cash back and the fee was $2, he could profit $3 every time. And since credit card rewards aren't taxable, the IRS couldn't stop him, but this does break your credit card agreement, so be careful. The infinite money glitch is real, and this guy made $300,000 and it was completely legal. He got an MX card with 5% cash back and went to the grocery store, but instead of buying eggs and milk, he bought a $100 prepaid money card and then used it to buy a money order.
Sometimes I think Sarah thinks I'm dumber than I actually am.
I just wanted you to meet my little sister.
Sarah, I've literally met your entire family. You don't have a little sister.
You haven't met my entire family because you haven't met my little sister. She's here with me right now.
Oh, well, put her on the mic. Let me talk to her.
Okay, just give me like 1 second. Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Callie.
Callie? Oh, that's close to another person I know.
Really?
Their name also starts with C. They also are a grown person pretending to be a little kid using a soundboard. Sarah, turn.
The weirdest things people did for money. Up first, this guy.
Lawyer's reaction.
The guy in this video was getting kicked out of this baseball game when he ended up doing a 200 IQ move to avoid getting kicked out of this game.
Fan dies watching Avengers after suspected heart attack. Yo, imagine how wild it would be if you watch an Avengers and Thanos snap his fingers and the dude next to you just died. Pastor in Zimbabwe claims he has God's direct phone number. He hopping in that car like it's an Uber. Removing RAM from a computer while it's on. This visually represents a computer screaming as you chop off parts of its brain. Y'all sleep on your stomach, back, or side. I'll be rotating like a rotisserie chicken in my sleep. My microwave keeps asking for sacrifices. A 12-hour shift I did at work got my socks standing up. They didn't even know we off. So this kid I'm doing a group project with is mad tall, and I asked him how tall he was, and he pulled out his wallet and handed me this. Yes, I am very tall. 6'7". No, I don't play basketball. The weather is perfectly fine up here. I bet you can't make a sentence without a. Fan dies watching Avengers after suspected heart attack. Yo, imagine how wild it would be if you watch an Avengers and Thanos snap his fingers and the dude next.
This Disney World ride cost $100 million to build.
The government is giving away sports cars owned by criminals. So after the police arrest dealers or criminals, they often seize property. And they don't need this, so they turn around and sell it for really cheap. I found things like cheap sports cars, Black Hawk helicopters, really cheap real estate, and a bunch of other questionable things. Here's the name of the website.
So basically you can buy things for cheap that the federal government has purchased, used, or like no longer needs, which includes a lot of property from criminals. But buying a Dodge Charger is all fun and games until the criminal gets released and starts looking for his car. So is this...
People tried to take advantage of Mr. Beast's generosity, and this is what happened. Mr. Beast planned on making a video in which he would pay for people's groceries. But just a day before the video, the grocery store leaked this news to the nearby community, and as the word spread around the area, more and more people came to that grocery store and filled their shopping carts with tons of items. And when Mr. Beast heard that his plans were leaked, he was very upset and had to cancel the video idea for safety reasons. And when this news reached to the people in the store, they were outraged.
Mr. Beast is not coming today due to security issues.
No, Jesus, no, tell bring his ass back.
People tried to take advantage.
Don't trust every theory you see, my friend. I think all of us remember this iconic moment from FNAF 6. Everyone in the series dying in one final fire. Then you get to...
The man was burned in the mouth by the ice cube, but he was shocked by what was inside. The ice cube was hiding a mammoth that had been stabbed to death. The woman rushed to the refrigerator to check, and what she saw inside left her in a daze.
Oh my god.
Inside the refrigerator, a miniature world appears. It's a miniature world where every plant and tree is exactly the same as on Earth. They have their own production line, but the pace of life inside was so fast, it's as if everyone has pressed the fast forward button. Time flies by. Looking at the two people's faces, they were baffled. This is still the second-hand refrigerator that they bought, but there is one thing that makes them very confused. This is obviously the medieval period. The mammoth has been extinct since the Ice Age. Then they gave the mammoth a big funeral. They buried it in a flower pot. Done. The two men who couldn't resist their curiosity opened the refrigerator door again. After only 6.66 seconds, the world inside has evolved from the Middle Ages to the Industrial Age, and just as the two chatted, countless tall buildings rise from the ground. Two workers spotted them.
Bag's staring at us all day. I don't know, but I'm tired of looking at that broccoli in her teeth.
They looked for a few seconds, and inside, hundreds of years have passed. The man was burned in the mouth by the ice cube, but he was shocked by what was in.
What the grade you're going into this year says about you, part 2. Let me know what grade I should do next in the comments. Anyways, let's go. If you're going in first grade next year, what are you even doing here? Like, give your mom back the phone, go watch some Cocomelon, whatever you guys do. Whose mom let you download TikTok anyways? Like, come on, you're probably still doing finger painting. Alright, let's talk about 6th graders now. If you're going into 6th grade, you're expecting a whole new school year. Bro, just go there and have fun. They'll try to scare you the whole year. They'll try to be mean and just go to school and have fun. Don't get bullied, bro. Just don't get bullied. Alright, now we got 8th graders, because 8th grade.
Excuse me, is this all your stuff? Yes, ma'am. Great, so what's wrong with it? What do you mean? Well, you're clearly selling it for some reason. Oh, right, yeah, no, nothing's wrong with it, we're just trying to downsize a bit. Wonderful, so how much is it for
Welcome back to week 12 of our box truck build. In our 8-week video, we shared with you that one of our solar panels shattered. We just got the new one mounted.
Hey sir, what are you doing on the road so early?
Apparently there's an app that lets you make money just by walking, but
Clear Coca-Cola was a top secret project made exclusively for communist Russia. This is crazy. So, during World War...
Wait, what? You're not...
Excuse me, ma'am. I've been in a terrible car accident.
My legs are pinned under the car, and I can't reach to get my phone. Can you please?
When I'm bored, I ride by people's houses and turn their TV off. This is just evil. My legs after the anime swordsman sheaths his katana. While we sleep, our brain makes up stories and then gets scared of them. Mine does that when I'm awake. If this bowl fills up, I'll start trusting people. Wait, what the hell? Took a quick little walk to clear my head. When you can't find a bowl big enough. The hell is that, a public restroom? I just screamed I hate myself, and 2 minutes later I hear my brother sliding this note under my door. I hate myself too. Pear burgers over normal burgers. So you just took a bite and spat it out on.
So I'm not a fan of group projects because one person always ends up doing all the work, and usually it'd be me. But what would make me even more annoyed is when the teacher would choose the groups. This one time in math, I was grouped with 3 people: Isabel, Luis, and Taylor. Never talked to any of them beforehand. Should we start a group chat? I had all of these randoms in my contacts, and nobody talked in this group chat. Awkwardness 100, am I right? I didn't care enough. I was gonna do work for a bunch of people I didn't know. The day of the presentation, we had nothing. I was low-key regretting it. Or so I thought. Because Isabel had a whole PowerPoint ready for us. Isabel, what? She told me to read one of the slides and we all passed. Jeez, those kind of people are 1 in a million. So I'm not a fan of group projects because one person always ends up doing all the work, and usually it'd be me. But what would make me even more annoyed is when the teacher would choose the groups. This one time in math, I was grouped with 3 people: Isabel, Luis, and Taylor. Never talked to any of them beforehand. Should we start a group chat? I had all of these randoms in my contacts, and nobody talked in this group chat. Awkwardness 100, am I right? I didn't care enough. I was gonna do work for a bunch of people I didn't know. The day of the presentation, we had nothing. I was low-key regretting it. Or so I thought. Because Isabel had a whole PowerPoint ready for us. Isabel, what? She told me to read one of the slides and we all passed. Jeez, those kind of people are 1 in a million. So I'm not a fan of group projects because one person always ends up doing all the work, and usually it'd be me. But what would make me even more annoyed is when the teacher would choose the groups. This one time in math,
Thank you for sunshine.
Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain.
3 kinds of college essays that are so painful to read, your mom would even reject you. The pick-me. I don't know, I think I'm just like a very broken person trying to live life. The one who peaked in middle school. How have I shown leadership, you ask? Easy, I was the line leader in 6th grade. The resume rehasher. I've won 4 honors, been part of 5 clubs, been president of 2, been vice president of 3, been 3 kinds of college essays.
This college student went to an ATM and got a $20 bill worth 400 grand. This story starts in 2004 when an Ohio college student went to his local ATM to withdraw some cash. Among his withdrawal, he noticed a really strange $20 bill. Affixed to the banknote was a Del Monte banana sticker. And notably, this sticker wasn't just on top of the bill. It was actually underneath the serial number. So this somehow happened in the production process. Intrigued with what the bill might be worth, the owner decided to list it on eBay. 12 bids and a few days later, the $20 bill sold for 10 grand. But the story doesn't stop here. Because of all the press attention that this sale garnered, the bill became even more desirable and talked about after the initial sale. Fast forward to January 2021 when the Del Monte note was up for sale yet again. Experts estimated a $25,000 to $50,000 final sale price, but when high-end collectors saw the opportunity to own this once-in-a-lifetime $20 bill, the bidding went wild and the Del Monte note finally found a new home when the auction closed at $396,000. So check your 20s when you're grabbing a withdrawal at the ATM. This college.
When these kids accidentally threw a ball into a pond in their backyard, the young boy gets close to the pond trying to reach and grab the ball. Their dog notices this and realizes it's
Right, so it's not just so it's like any money that you're getting.
when these kids
See how the top thieves are stealing. The target is this diamond worth 500 million. First, he painted his body.
Taping a pen to my mouse to see how I aim in each game. Valorant. Fortnite. Trackmania. Genshin Impact. Taping a pen to my mouse to
The woman picked up an egg, crushed with force. The egg is empty. She didn't believe in evil and took another one, but it's still empty. Then the woman crushed a whole box of eggs. The results are all empty. This is the happiest community in the world. Every man has a successful career, have a beautiful wife. The house, car and food are all provided by the community free of charge. It can be said that there is no need to worry about food and drink, but all men have to work for a company called Victory Project. Every morning, wives' unified action is to watch their men drive to work. Then they started a day of housewife life. First, clean the house, then ask the neighbors to dance, go shopping, and have afternoon tea in the afternoon. The small life is extremely nourishing, but until this day, one of the wives' questions broke it all. At a party held by the company's founder, a woman suddenly asked, "Why are we here?" This sentence made all the wives present deep in thought. Yeah, why are we here? They don't even know what their husbands do in the company every day. But soon the founder gave a fierce speech. Let women forget to question. But Mary remembered. The second day, Mary sent her husband to work as usual, then do housework. But as she did, she suddenly thought, why not go out and have a look? So she took the bus provided by the community. The woman picked up an egg, crushed with force. The egg
If Jesus Christ was standing at the door of your house right now, would you let him in? If you would not keep scrolling. He's saying to you right.
Who was the first celebrity to ever receive a blue verified checkmark? I know you're probably.
Mr. Beast hosted a tournament in Fortnite for $1 million, but to be honest, I just want the glider. 39 minutes left. I'd say the odds are definitely in my favor. I woke up late and only had 30 minutes to play, but I was sure I could get this glider. Okay, this one's easy. As long as you're not stupid, it's easy. Oh my god. Wow. Nah, these kids are weird. To get the glider, you needed to score 83,000 points. Get the 225. Jump it. What the? Dude, it actually scanned me. Are you kidding? Nice, dude. I thought I had lost my chance, but there was 6 minutes left. Just enough time for one more attempt. Don't fall to the bottom. Easy. I'm gonna play this smart. It'll just depend if other people do or if they're gonna... Oh, sick. They're gonna be losers. All right, whatever. We got a lot of coins there. I focused up and started doing really well. Okay, here it is. Found it. Okay, I'm at 27. Full HP. Okay, go, 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 go. It doesn't even matter. Oh my god, it wasn't loaded. I got first. It was going great, but then Jimmy Mr. Beast just had to mess me up. Wow. Okay, already messed up once. All right, literally, if I take one more tick, I'm dead. I need to be very careful. Like, I actually need to be pristine. Okay, dude, sick. And yeah, it was like 3,000 points up. Mr. Beast hosted a tournament in Fortnite for
me 410, come on.
NASA pimp slapped an asteroid. And yeah, it cost $325 million to do it, but on Monday, a NASA spacecraft called DART collided with an asteroid about 7 million miles away. This was the first test in the Planetary Defense Initiative that NASA began back in 2016, with the goal for DART being to strike the asteroid with enough force to change the orbit. And scientists predict that after the successful collision, the asteroid's path will shift by 1%, which may not seem like much, but will make a huge difference over the years. Because if this shift happens like scientists hope, we can potentially strike asteroids on a collision course with Earth the same way, and theoretically change their orbit enough to miss us entirely. NASA pimp slapped an asteroid. And yeah, it cost
You failed your last exam even though you studied. Here's how you're gonna ace the next one. So
this is pretty crazy. This is a demonstration in China of how Chinese police stop people from protesting. So they build a blanket fort around? This is like the world's slowest magic trick. I know this is just a demonstration, but I wonder if they're gonna demonstrate how they beat the shit out of the guy and then go after his family. And like, what if his sign is taller than the protest blanket? All right, so here's the worst part about the Chinese government. So this is pretty crazy.
I'd like to run physical training for the unit. No, we're gonna have that guy do it because he outranks you. Okay, well, I have a bachelor's degree and personal training certifications, and the unit's injury level is increasing and our PT scores are not going up, so I thought maybe, I could help. No, that guy runs marathons and or does CrossFit, so we're gonna let him do it. Okay, but can I at least just help? Like, I have actual experience working with people in this capacity, right? I'm not just a guy that likes to go to the gym. I have, qualifications for this. No, we all like fitness a lot, and you telling us that you're clearly more qualified to do this than us makes us feel insecure, so we're gonna push back.
So the other day I beat the world record for the most trick points scored in Fortnite previously held by Laserbeam. And a lot of people were saying that the record does not count because I was using a glitch. Well, today we're gonna beat it with no glitches. The first thing I'm gonna try is jumping in this box of bouncers with my motorcycle. And remember, the goal is to get 100 million. Here we go. Bro, why do the walls keep breaking? Alright, well I guess that didn't work. Here's my final plan. I built a tower here with a bouncer in it. The previous record was set by Laserbeam with 45 million, and I'm gonna be going for 100 million. Alright, here we go, let's test it out. It's working. Now, I just gotta hold this for a very long time. Alright guys, it's been a little bit, and now we have a 3x multiplier. Alright, we're 25 million points away. We hit 100 million! Come on. Let's go! I landed it! Subscribe and follow for more. So the other day I beat the world record for the most trick points scored in Fortnite previously held by Laserbeam. And a lot of people were saying that the record...
The Russian military held discussions on how, where, and when to use nukes on Ukraine. And this is new because prior to now, it was just Vlad or one of his thugs threatening it without any clear follow-through. And sad Vlad reportedly wasn't present for any of these meetings, which is alarming because that may mean the military was given orders to create a plan. Now, the US intercepted these communications in October, but a key thing, US maintains that it sees nothing to suggest that Russia is immediately preparing for a nuclear strike. The Russian...
Bro, that test was a piece of cake. Here's how you're not gonna fail any of your classes this fall. You're gonna blend your study schedule. Humans are terrible at memorizing information. If your study schedule looks like this, chances are by day 7, you'll forget everything from day 1. Blend your schedule by covering a core subject each day, but reviewing it 1, 3, and 7 days later. Bro, that test was a piece of cake.
I told her we're going to Alaska, but we're not. Not even close. Where are you going? You'll see. It all started when she picked the right index card.
No.
So I told her to pack her coat because it's gonna get cold. Or is it? At the airport, she was skeptical. So I showed her our Alaskan plane and she kind of bought it. Right when we took off, the announcements came on. But thankfully, she was sleeping. As we flew over the ocean, things started to get dicey. Sorry about the turbulence. Even the flight attendant looked shook. But as we arrived at our destination, she figured out real quick that this wasn't Alaska. Welcome to the jungle. Why are you wearing a beanie? Like a fellow for part 2. I told her we're going to Alaska, but...
If a girl's on her phone while you're hanging out with her, do this. Hey, it seems like maybe you got something going on you gotta take care of. All good, but after that, can you put your phone away so we can just hang out?
After you say this, a girl is gonna respond in one of 2 ways. Oh, right, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll completely put it away.
Or she might do this.
Are you kidding me? I'm texting my mom. It's not even that big a deal. Like, you need to relax.
Oh, okay, I mean, if that's how you feel, honestly, I don't think this is gonna be a good fit, so I wish you the best. If a girl's on her phone while you're hanging out with her,
a final exam. All the students in the class were waiting for a genius girl's answer. If they passed the exam, Lisa would be paid at least $100,000. Ooh, spoon. This girl was in a hurry to go to the toilet, but she was stopped in her tracks by the chalk line. No matter how hard she pushed, she couldn't get out. A woman on the side tried to bring chalk, draw a passage for the girl, then erase the edge of the original chalk line. The girl is finally free to run into the bathroom. Amy of high IQ thinks the girl must have been traumatized in some way. That's why there is such fear of the world beyond the chalk line. So she called in a psychiatrist. One-on-one treatment for Annie. When the doctor erases the edge of the chalk line, Annie, however, shouted like a madman. It's like seeing something horrible. Amy rushed to recover the line on the ground with chalk. Annie only gradually calmed down. The doctor asked her what she saw. Annie wouldn't answer out loud, only dared to whisper in Amy's ear. An expert quietly recording on the sidelines, then put the sound to the maximum to hear what the girl said. However, to everyone's surprise, the girl who had never spoken before, she actually spoke a few words of German. Does it mean that she is a child from abroad? Amy used translation.
Here's what happened during the Fortnite Kid Laroi concert in less than a minute. To start off, a supply drop comes down with the Kid Laroi inside. Whoa! After the first song, the map begins to flood and we're taken into his home. Whoa, I want this house.
This is why your college essay might put readers to sleep. Look, whenever I read an essay that starts with, "It was the day of the big game," or "It was the day of the debate tournament," 9 times out of 10, I can predict the exact ending. Victory. So many college essays end on a note of success or happily ever after instead of deep reflection. Here are a few ways to break that predictability. This is why your college essay might put readers to sleep. Look, whenever I read an essay that starts with, "It was the day of the big game," or "It was the day of the debate tournament," 9 times out of 10, I can predict the exact ending. Victory. So many college essays end on a note of success or happily ever after instead of deep reflection. Here are a few ways to break that predictability.
6 game-changing LED gadgets. 6 is the LED noteboard. Wow, that's awesome. And it doubles as both a bedside lamp and a place to jot down your random 3 AM ideas. 5 is the LED hat. Okay, how do we turn this thing on? It's not as bright as I was expecting. Then we have the bike wheel light. Okay, so let's latch it onto the wheel and just start pedaling. That's kind of cool. Now, probably the quickest and easiest way to add a little bit of light into your life is the LED coaster. This one's kind of surprising because it's so thin and there's no mains connection needed. Okay. Wow, that is a party. Oh, it has a mode that doesn't make it look like you're having a seizure. We've got the LED charging cable. Let's plug it into our power supply. Oh my gosh. And then magnetically connect it to our phone. Pretty over the top, but I do like the fact that the motion follows the direction of the charge. That is nothing compared to the